Alright, I am starting this recording. I want to shrink my webcam a little bit, but that's fine. Let me do that. Oh, nope. Okay, perfect. So, basically, I am in the MOCS. I'm playing for a whole bunch of money and prestige and a tournament invitation. So, we've opened our seal pool and let's get right to it. I'm not going to be streaming this, it's going to be commentated because because I don't want to get ghosted, I guess. But I'll be happy to stream any PTQs. I did so yesterday. I didn't get ghosted at all. But I think for this one, I'm not going to stream it. And but anyone who's interested can watch this VOD. Hopefully, it's not like an O2 drop or anything. If it's an O2 drop, it might not be posted, but we'll see about that. Anyways, so we have this card that's basically, at a rare level, our pool does look pretty decent so far. We have this card, which is basically guaranteed to make our deck. The Wandering Archaic. It's like a pretty above average 5 drop that's really annoying, especially if your opponent misplays. We have an excellent Mythic Rare that we can either splash or be red white for. Basically, it has to die, or just all of our creatures just get a ton of value whenever they die, and our spirits have trample and haste, so we can just run them over. We have the Phoenix, which is a very strong learn card. Oh, we have environmental sciences. That's awesome. We have 2 of them, so we can do whatever we want mana-wise potentially. So that's a good sign. Lorehold Command is another mega bomb. So basically, with 2 environmental sciences and all these busted red rares, it's essentially a guarantee that we're going to play, I guess, red and white in some form. Eliminate History is an excellent lesson. It's one of the strongest lessons that I've played with, really. It's an awesome card to go grab mid game. Teachings the Archaics is kind of like a worse version of this, but it could be useful. The thing about lessons is, like, even if you only use it, like, what, 5% of the time, it's fine. Now, granted, this is sort of a waste of a rare to open, but that's not really it's not really the point. This is Divination that deals 2 damage to you. We might have some +1/+1 counter synergies. You could proliferate this, which would be cute. I haven't really played with Stadium all that much. I don't think Stadium's unplayable. It's like a weird mix between like a mana rock and then like a win condition for board stalls and decks that have a lot of cheap flyers or evasive creatures. And then there's Silver Quill Command, which is generally pretty strong, so we could consider splashing that as well. Um, and then I guess we'll put the Gamut down too. I'll put the Stadium down. I'm not sure how high I rate Stadium. I don't think it's unplayable, but I haven't been like I've never lost to the card, so that should tell you something because you do spend a card on like a colorless Manolith, which is not great. So we have Lorehold Campuses, which helps splash our best rares. We have these Team Pennants, which are whatever. I guess I'll look at lessons really quick. Let me just do that. So we have Reduced to Memory, which is a strong mid-game answer card. We have Teachings the Archaics. If we have access to blue mana, we can draw cards off it. Illuminate History is a very good value card. We have 2 creatures that are castable in red, which is awesome. So everything with Learn is going to be great. So yeah, these first day of classes are actually good. And so is this Guiding Voice, assuming we're base red-white. And then if we're blue, like blue-red splash white or something, then we definitely want these. Yeah. But oh, there's this as well. So we have a lot of lessons, not that much learn, but with this many good lessons, all of the learn cards we have are very good, including the usually mediocre ones like first day of class. This card's gone up a bit in my estimation. It's kind of like Cram Session in that regard. If you hear a little sniffling, my apologies. I think I might be a little sick. I think I might have a cold. So I am streaming this with a cold, but I'm at my house. It's not a big deal. I'm not gonna get anyone else sick. Anyways, let's take a look at these multicolor cards. I think this is one weakness of this pool so far. I do not see any color that's particularly good. We have the Excavation, so this continues our theme of good red-white cards. So for base red-white, that's fine. We have Reconstruct History. This card hasn't been very good. Basically, if you have like a strong mix of instant sorceries and artifacts, you can make this a 3-for-1. Other than that, I mean, I don't think it even is like you're not gonna have planeswalkers, and you probably won't have enchantments because this set has like no enchantments in it. Like watch for example, we have 13 minutes, so we can take our time with this. Enchantment, and then we enchantment. So we have 1 enchantment in our entire pool. It could come up, I guess, if we mill it to something else, but I don't know. Or if it gets like answered by something. Uh, let's see. So another aspect of the pool we want to look at is removal spells, because removal tends to be pretty important in this format, and that does seem like one of the weaknesses of red-white. So we have these 2 removal spells. Defend the Campus is okay. I think I'm down to play Defend the Campus in limited. We have a Divine Gambit, which is overperformed compared to how bad it was in Kaldheim. Then we have a Shock. If we go outside color, Reject in blue sort of counts, but it doesn't. Test of Talents is pretty damn strong. I could see main decking it. I could also just see like having a blue deck to board into to exploit Test of Talents against blue-red control, which is built around casting, 7-drops, like non-creature 7-drops that we can hit with Test of Talents. And then as a bonus, we get to see their entire deck in their hand, which has been really good for me. And then with black has the best removal, as you might expect. We have Eliminate and 2 Mage Hunter's Onslaughts, which is awesome. Plus Umbral Juke, decent Edict. And then if you don't need the Edict, or if the Edict's useless, you just make a flyer with a 2/1 flash flyer for 3 is not like a horrible rate either. So generally would always start Umbral Juke in a black deck. Nothing else in red. The other good red cards, this card's pretty good. It's a 5-mana creature that draws cards. Tome Shredder's definitely good. Although we are a bit light on, I think we're a bit light on cards that like pay us off for removing things from our graveyard. Like as good as our red-white is, we don't have Quintorius, and we don't have many of the cards that do that. We have Effigy, which is basically just filler, and we have the Mentors, so it could come up. If we build our deck aggressively, I like Hall Monitor as well. And it probably will be a little aggressive. I doubt our red-white deck is going to be purely controlling. Anyways, oh yeah, this is also... Yeah, let me put the lessons over. Where are those lessons? Obviously, we're not going to main deck the lessons. That's not the point. But they could just go over here. I mean, our green looks terrible. We can basically just ignore green entirely. Like, at the rare level, we don't have green cards. And at the common level, like, I love Cultivator. But, yeah, like, none of this stuff is all that good. Like, so we could basically ignore green. I think we're probably base red-whites, based on, like, all the stuff that I pulled out that I actually want. We could also be base black-white, and just splash red for a bunch of cards, but that does seem worse. Base black-white is if we really want Mage Hunter's Onslaught. And then we give up this, because we're not splashing this. It would basically be we'd splash these 2 cards, maybe the Phoenix if we have enough Learn. But I don't think we have Learn in black. That's the problem, right? Yeah, we don't have Learn in black. So if we're black-white, we can't get the red splash very easily. So I think we're just married to red-white, and then we should go from there. We can splash whatever we want. But, I mean, being married to red-white isn't a bad thing. Like, if you just look at it like this, it's like, wow, red-white's our best color. And yeah, it seems pretty obvious. And we even have the 2 campuses. So this pool was just destined to play red-white. But that's not bad. It's not really bad at all. Definitely want the Archaic. Definitely want this. Definitely want this. Effigy's fine. So is Tome Shredder. The General's fine. We're gonna have Spirits from Excavation and a few other cards and Ghost Forge. So I'm definitely down for a General. Oh man. Now we're not gonna play the Lumimancer. I think this card's a lot of work. So this would be our base, I guess. Give or minus the Hall Monitor or something. And then from here, because we have the Environmental Sciences, we definitely have the options. We definitely have the option to splash. So might want to look into that. We have 9 minutes left. So Silver Coal Command is probably the most obvious one. Tezzerot's Gambit could just be played as Divination. Actually, I want to look at something really quick. No, I spelled that wrong. Not that it's a huge deal, but I like to know, what my cards do. Counters, 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 counters. Yeah, actually, we're getting a little bit of proliferate value. That's nice. And we have Anatomy, too. Like, I don't really care. I mean, I'm just down to play Divination in this format, but I like getting extra value when I can, So, what else is there to say? We also have Archway Commons and the Letter, so we could really paint the rainbow. But the problem with painting the rainbow is that, like, there's not actually that much we really want. Like, Silver Coal Command, obviously, is, like, a strong rare. But then at rare level, there's nothing. Like, there's Teachings the Archaics on the splash. And we have Illuminate, so I don't think we're going to need to grab Teachings all that often. We could splash Divide by 0. This card's basically good enough to splash. It's pretty good. We could certainly splash Test of Talents out of the sideboard. Like, this Hall Monitor is definitely cuttable, by the way. It's very aggressive. Probably more aggressive than we are. I think we're, like, probably mid-range. Like, we're not, like, a true control deck, but we're definitely, like, a red-white mid-range deck. We could play this. I don't think it seems very good. Sorcery, instant, sorcery. Yeah, we have, like, a nice mix of instants and sorceries. We do have Lorehold Command as well. So we could consider Reconstruct History. We have like basically no artifacts. If we wanted to get the draw 3, then we need to play these cards, or even this. Probably these cards, though. But not super impressed. I usually play an Archivist when I have a Quintorius, but I don't have Quintorius, so Archivist is like just a 6-mana 4/5 reach. Not unplayable, but not that good. Is there anything else in black we would want to splash? I think Eliminate could be splashed. Eliminate's really good. Maybe I just want to Eliminate. I don't want Mage Hunter's Onslaught. Double black is, no joke. You don't really play double black on the splash here, especially if our splash is just one swamp. If we're just doing the one swamp plus Sciences plan, where we're relying on Guiding Voice, Phoenix, and First Day of Class to get there. And then we could play the Pledge Mage as well or something. We'd call it a day. Yeah, I don't think I want Hall Monitor Limited. I'm not really aggressive enough for Hall Monitor. I want my cards to like potentially trade with other cards. I don't want like a mulligan like this. This card's only good if you're directly beaten down, so it seems terrible. So we have a nice variety of removal. We have some card advantage. I think I could submit this deck as is, but I should probably look at my other options too. And let's pull out the lesson board really quick because we have some more time. Elemental Summoning, Necrotic Fumes, Teachings of the Archaics. What else is there? The Sciences. We're not going to main deck Sciences. We're not going to play the Archway Commons either. I really do not hate our mana one bit. Like, our mana is pretty fine. If this card got creatures, I would definitely be playing it, but it doesn't. So it's just going to rot in your hand a lot, I think. Although we do have 2 commands to recur with it, and we have some sorceries too. So this is probably the card I'm eyeing the most. And I'm just wondering if I'm supposed to, like, sacrifice a bit of card quality to make this good. But probably not. And there's really not much else to add to this, I think. Don't want the Stadium. I don't want any of these things. I'll just play 1 Swamp. I'll play the 2 black cards. This benefits from the Black Splash a little because it's even easier to cast than it would be if it was double white. Because occasionally we'll draw, like, Swamp, Mountain, and Plains, and we can still cast the Pledge Mage. And the Pledge Mage goes nicely with like a lot of these non-creatures, because our non-creature spells go get non-creature spells. So all the Pledge Mages are going to be triggering a bunch of times. Like, we're a great Magecraft deck. Let's see. Don't think I want a double splash. Not seeing anything that good. Yeah, it's mostly the Reconstruct History that I'm eyeing, and I'm just thinking I have never made the card work. And because I've never made the card work, I don't think I want to play it. But could be wrong. Also, our deck is deceptively a bit more creature heavy than it looks, I think. Mostly because we have lessons, and the lessons can go get creatures. We have 2 solid creatures that we can go grab. The Spirit Summoning and Elemental Summoning. So, not worried about creature density much. I guess Excavation could underperform. I think it's going to be fine. I've generally been happy with Excavation. Our deck also doesn't have like a defined late game mana sink. So, pretty happy with this deck. We probably want a very, very well balanced selection of plains and mountains, I think. I don't think we're leaning too hard in one direction. Okay, we're a bit more red, but we have double white. This cares about plains. This is double white. So let's see what kind of numbers we can get. What is 661? I think we have extra lands to add at 661. Oh yeah, we have 2 extra lands. But this is 8/8, which gives us the minimum of both, which is pretty reasonable. And then for black sources, basically every learn card is a black source, if you want to think of it that way. So let's take a look. Yeah, we have 4 black sources. So 1 swamp and these 4 learn cards for the environmental sciences is like having 5 black sources. So long as we're willing to go get the swamp with our learn card, which seems pretty reasonable. So happy with that. I will say I could maybe use this card, but probably not. Like, we have a little more spells for it than it appears because of learn, but I don't think we're supposed to do that. And we go get this. I don't know. It just seems inconsistent. I want to be able to play like whatever game is in front of me. Sometimes I'll be the control deck. Sometimes I'll be like the aggro deck. Yeah, 1 and 1, perfect. So I'm actually just gonna submit the deck. I think. I don't think I need to waste much more time. Maybe I'll submit the deck at a minute 30 or something. They told me to submit it with a minute remaining in case of connection issues. I don't really expect connection issues, but just going to go over if there's anything interesting. So, we definitely can board into a different splash, by the way. There are matchups where Test of Talents is probably better than the black-white card is. So in that case, or we could double splash, but I probably wouldn't double splash. If I do double splash, then we could change into a very different deck. We could do Archway Commons, Letter of Acceptance, Reconstruct History, Archivist, cut some of the beaters, cut some of like maybe cut the removal that's bad, like Shock or something, and then become a 4-color control deck with Test of Talents and maybe even Divide by Zero or something. That doesn't sound like unplayable or Serpentine Curve, but I don't think that's as good as this deck is game one. We have a really solid mix of creatures. In limited, sometimes you could just get people dead by playing 3-drops. We also have like these are all proactive turn 2 plays. Like if turn 2, if we just have to cast this, I don't hate it. I mean, I don't love it, but you know, turn 2, go tutor up a 3/2. Turn 2, make sure you don't screw on lands. Totally fine. Totally fine playing that card. So yeah. Maybe some people would have built this pool differently. I definitely think the red-white base is good, but I don't know. There's options. Maybe some people don't like defend the campus, but I've generally found there's probably going to be a target. The fact that you have like another mode is helpful. If there are no targets, I do recommend boarding the card out, and then we can play like an archivist or something like that. But I'm down to start it. I like having answers to dragons and busted cards like that. There's also big fractals to kill. And most of the decks that don't have big creatures have big fractals, I've found. So it's possible that I was always underrating this card. Like the blue-red decks have 4/4 elementals. The blue-green decks have fractals. The black-green decks have big beaters. The red-white decks, I guess red-white might be one of the worst colors for it, but they'll probably have something. Oh no, black-white's the worst color for Defend the Campus. When you play against black-white, you should take this card out. But black-white is a small portion of the decks we're going to be playing against. So yeah, so I'm excited to play this. The way this is going to work is I think I'll just split the video into different parts. You know, it'll be like on YouTube, which I haven't even made the channel yet, but it'll be on YouTube, and then I'll have, you know, deck build, match 1, match 2, and then there won't be a match 3 because I've O2 dropped. But if there is a match 3, it'll be there too. So thank you so much for watching. This is the deck building portion. I'd say this deck is like a solid 8 out of 10, maybe a 9 out of 10. The commands are really good, and the mana's good, and we have a lot of learned cards. So I'm excited to play with it, and take care.